Hi! In this tutorial, we'll be working on Gmail in Zapier. As a quick note, this tutorial is a counterpart to the one that we've done on Email Parser. You can stay on here if you expect your data to be pretty consistently formatted across emails, or let's say you just want to work with the subject or the date or the sender, or even extract URLs, hang out here. If you expect your data to be pretty hard to find in the body of the email, but that the body of the email is pretty clean, then you should hop over to Email Parser. But otherwise, hang on. Our example in this case is going to be Google Alerts, not because I think it's the most useful use case, just because I have so many, and as you can see, they're always pretty consistently formatted. You always know it's going to be from Google Alerts. They're kind of organized by time, like I get one every day. And yeah, you can see it's always URL, brief description, URL, brief description, etc., etc., etc. And at this point, let's just clarify our end goal. Again, you can do so many things with this, but we're just going to keep it simple here because our emphasis is on working with Gmail. So we're just going to create a set of Google Sheets that we're going to title Zapier Gmail Demo. Not very exciting. And we're also just going to set up headers. Let's say our end goal is to have dates and URLs across two different sets of Google Alerts. And I'm just going to set this up first. The first set of Google Alerts will be about LLMs, and the second set of Google Alerts will be about AI Southeast Asia. Again, not necessarily the most riveting example, but it's just simple and helpful for us. And again, we're going to make sure that we have our headers here, because Zapier really loves those. To the point of necessity, but some people say love is necessity, but that's not our discussion today. Okay, what's our discussion today? We're going to create a Zap from scratch. We just have a bit more control this way, a bit faster. Our trigger, like we promised, will be Gmail. And so here are the various events you can have as your trigger. You could have this all happen when you get a new attachment, a new label, labeled email start, blah, blah, blah. So for your own specific use case, you can play around with this. But in our specific use case where we want Zapier to sort our Google Alerts into two different worksheets, we would want to first make sure that we're picking up our Google Alerts, the right ones. So we'll say new email matching search, continue personal email, because that's where all my Google Alerts are. And as for search string, what we can do is first figure out our perfect search operator. So you can look for these. This is also what Zapier's team recommends. Search operator Gmail, search operator is Gmail. Very quickly read through this, figure out how you can best pick up the information that you're looking for. In my case, because all my Google Alerts come from Google Alerts, I could just say from Google Alerts as a single string that they should look for at once. And for my subject, I only wanted to pick up either LLM or Southeast Asia. So yeah, that filtered out all my other Google Alerts that you will not be looking at today. Once you've found a search string that you're satisfied with, you can just copy and paste it over here, click refresh fields, continue, and then they'll just test out our trigger just to make sure that it's picking up what we want it to pick up. And voila, it looks like it has. It's picked up, yes, Google Alerts about AI Southeast Asia, as well as about LLMs. If all of these are going to receive the same treatment, you don't really have to worry too much about which one you work with first. However, if you're going to be using paths, like what we're about to do in this next part of the tutorial, then you should just pay attention to which one you'd have to start with first. Just because you have to build your whole path around it, and it's not going to work if you try to build it around the other option. So in some ways, that was a bit of a spoiler. The next thing that we're going to then put in is Paths by Zapier. Again, you wouldn't need this if all of your data is going to end up in the same place. So let's say if everything is going to end up in the same worksheet here, but for now, we're going to sort it into either the worksheet for LLMs or the worksheet for AI Southeast Asia. Not the most personal examples, this is for a reason. So we're just going to rename Path A as Southeast Asia, and Path B in advance as LLM. And we're just going to double check what our test record is. The first one that we're working with is Southeast Asia, so let's work on this one first. I would recommend naming things along the way because there are going to be points where it'll come in handy, and I might show you these in a second. Okay, path rules. Only continue if Our subject, again, the beauty of Google Alerts being pretty standard, contains Southeast Asia, or I could even just write Southeast because the other one would not contain Southeast Asia. Okay. And so we're going to test this out again. Yay, it worked. Again, if it doesn't, all you have to do is double check that your test record corresponds to the first path that you're trying to make. Okay, now we're going to start with our action. So with our task of extracting URLs, you have two options, and both of them have to do with Zapier's formatter, so we're just going to pick that first. The first one lives within text. And in this case, our action would be directly to extract URL. This is a bit of a cleaner and hands-off solution, but it only works if the number of URLs you're expecting are pretty limited and also predictable. If it could vary every day between 1 to 10, as it can with Google Alerts, maybe not exactly 1, but yeah, there is a variation, then this might not be your preferred option. But let's say you know that you're always going to just get 2. What you can quickly do is just pick out, the body that you're going to be getting it out from, and then you'll see that you have your first URL very cleanly taken out for you. And if you have a second URL, all you have to do is run this again. Again, work with text. And what we're going to do now is just delete the first URL by using replace, searching again within the same input data, which is body. Our first URL. And then leave it blank to get rid of it. Test step. You'll see that our first URL has disappeared. Okay, and then you can just do the same thing again. Format, text. Yep, and just look for your URL again. And this way you can very definitely get the first 2, assuming there are only 2. And yeah, very quickly put them nicely into your Google Sheets. If, unfortunately, you're stuck with an unpredictable amount of URLs, we're just gonna really move backward a little bit. And instead, use, also within formatter, give me a second, utilities. So for this scenario, what we're going to want to do is, again, to pick text, but a different action. We are instead going to extract a pattern written in regex, because this gives us all of the URLs at once. So we'll just, again, pick body plain, though for various reasons you might want to work with body HTML instead, but this is just a bit faster. And the pattern that we'll be looking for is the one that's predictable to all URLs. HTTP, you could do S. I just did a wildcard to be safe. But yeah, if you're a bit rusty or not so familiar with regex, you can just pause this video and copy this down to look for your URL. Okay, I'm just going to be safe and say yes at each point, also because I think that there were some slightly confusing line breaks when I was looking at the body plain. But you can be a bit more discriminating about this and actually read it through. Okay, continue. So we're just going to test this step and see if it's pulled all of our URLs at once. And ta-da! We do have a whole list of URLs. Fantastic. From this point, to be honest, there's actually a bit of troubleshooting that I'll have to go back and do because the way it's picked up some of the URLs isn't perfect. But this might not be a particular example. In your case, it could be pretty smooth. So I'll leave that for another video. For now, we're just going to head straight to Sheets and update multiple spreadsheet rows with each of our URLs. Okay, so my account is already linked. And I'm going to pick my drive and then my spreadsheet, Zapier Gmail demo, and my worksheet in this case, because it's the URLs concerning Southeast Asia, will be AI Southeast Asia. The date will conveniently be the date that the email was sent, 10th February, and my URLs are all hanging out here. So I'm just going to put all of them in. Okay, I just fast-forwarded some of that. This is the last one, number 9. And now we're going to test it. Test that. And ta-da! All of our URLs are now sitting comfortably here. Like I said, there's a bit of troubleshooting I actually need to go back and do. Like, for example, it's picked up, URLs we don't want, like related to Google Alerts itself, as well as this one. But this is something we can fix later on. For now, it generally works. That and that it cuts off early. If you don't run into this problem, then congratulations, you're done. If you do, then our tutorial on how to troubleshoot around URLs will be coming soon, but I think that's probably a bit hyper-specific. And for now, we have enough information to set up a situation where emails matching a certain search string get sent to different parts of a spreadsheet. For the next round, you can do the same with LLMs. So you can do the same with your second path. Just don't forget to switch your test record to the right one. So here, Google Alerts, and then you can just set up the same thing as we did before, and you're all good. And that's it.